Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome into the Winklerverse. I am Bart Winkler, Grant Bills alongside, and Paul Immig. It's time for our MmHmm. We will probably have a pick episode with Horvat. I woke up today and I had a hard time getting out of bed. So I was the one who said no.
Oh,
Maybe tomorrow.
oh no.
I'm also trying to, if you're on the Dan Schani YouTube stream, typically my head is down here. I'm trying to get it up here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to work on my posture. I've got a back curve that's more pronounced than I thought it was. And I'm getting that little hump from looking at my...
You've got the thing that scientists have been like speculating about?
I think so. I mean, I saw a picture of me. My wife's like, it was me and my kid playing soccer. And she's like, it's a great picture to send to your dad. I go, no, because the way I described it is like if you're making a Lego figure and then instead of putting the head on top, you then use like a 2-piece Lego and then put the head on the front. I feel like my head sticks out from my body.
So you've added like a back neck piece to your body?
I feel like my head is in front of me.
Oh.
I feel like my head gets somewhere before I do.
Oh my gosh.
Like I would win a race not by like a nose or a chin, but a full head.
See, it's an advantage. Like if you ever go into like cross country at your age, you can always win. Well, you can win if you're equally as fast or slow.
But I did buy one of those things that I'm not wearing it right now, but I bought it.
Oh,
it makes you tighter.
Posture device or something?
Yeah.
I've not heard of such a thing.
Oh, they're all over on Amazon for like $20, but I want one that I need it to go all the way down my spine.
Mm.
Or I could just see a doctor, but instead I'm going to try to Amazon Prime my way back to health.
I'd go the other way, but okay.
So I'm going to try to... Here. And this chair, it's a fold-out chair from Fastlane, WWE.
You use your Goldberg one for all this?
Yeah. I'll just show it just for the stream. I'm sitting on a Brewers cushion at least.
Okay.
Back from the 1980s, I believe.
I want to see the Goldberg thing. That's cooler.
March 5, 2017.
Goldberg. Oh my gosh. Is that when Goldberg defeated Bray Wyatt?
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens. Okay.
All right. Hit me, Paul. Grant, too.
Brewers or Packers?
Let's start with the Brewers.
I heard someone say something on a national radio show last week, and Grant probably didn't hear this. And so Grant can react to it live. I won't say who the person was, who the host was, but someone we know, Grant. And this character said, I think I want the Brewers to win 65 games next year to reset this era.
Yeah.
Without naming names, Grant, I'm going to have you go first. It would, because, and I'll preface for this person, the reason was like it's playoffs, but every year it's just wild card defeat. It is annoying. So to snap things back into like a fun fan era, the Brewers should only win 65 games next year, and that would be that's what you want as a fan. Mm-hmm. Or mm-mm.
So the Brewers have won a lot of regular season games and wipe that smile off your face. The Brewers have won a lot of regular season games and got into the playoffs and lost in the first round. And I'm about to have a discussion with you two knobs that the takeaway, the lesson moving forward is they should win fewer regular season games.
All right. Spoiler alert. It was Bart who I stopped what I was doing, wrote this down in my notepad because what the fuck are you saying, Bart?
What?
So let me.
Are you with me, Paul?
Of course, it was a ridiculous take.
Well, yeah, it'd just be a lot easier to win one playoff series. Just win one more playoff game. That would be the better solution.
So I mean, maybe this is one of those things where it was Bart's take, but turned up to 11. So maybe not. So Bart, explain yourself.
Did you see what I just did? I put a bag of Barbies behind me because I need I have a bag of. Oh God, sitting up straight hard.
Sitting up straight hard
is hard.
That too.
Okay, I really thought you said the other thing. Oh, no.
I did. Where I was thinking with that is because Grant and I were talking about how he and I came up with the phrase "golden era of Brewers baseball."
We did.
Which do you say is Bart trying to get? Does he want credit? No, we're happy to see it have blossomed.
I do agree. I don't need credit for that one. It's like a poet whose work takes off after they die. Like I didn't do that for the glory. I did that because we did that because it was the right thing to do at the time.
I would like credit for Blackout Wednesday, which I came up with.
There are things that I would like credit for too that I know I'm not going to get, and I'll just keep them to myself because I'll just get. That's always what happens when we go down this path. So.
Did you hear what Bill Simmons stole from you?
I don't want to talk about what people are stealing from me.
The meme team.
He said it?
No, I'm just fucking with you.
I call the Mets the meme team, and nobody else. I want that to.
Someone else will say it, though, and they will then become the one who was. You probably should put it on the record, though. Like, tweet it. So it's like, I just want to say that on this day at this time, I have been calling it the meme team. In case this takes off in the course of the next couple weeks, I get credit. But anyway, sorry.
I mean, I'm getting America's booth to be a thing. When the Packers play on Monday Night Football this year, and I need to look at the schedule, I will book Joe Buck with Bill, and I will utilize the 45 seconds with him before patching him through to Bill, and I will plant that seed, and it will spread like wildfire because Joe will walk away saying, that's awesome. And Troy will love it because he's Troy Aikman. Why would he not love being referred to as America's booth?
And then he'll say it.
That I will get to catch on.
And then he'll say it.
Graphics, it'll be everywhere. Anyways,
so Bart, say more about your take here. You want the Brewers to win 65 games to reset?
Oh, I would say that. Did you see Twitter this morning is like, hey, we're giving you more money for tweeting.
No, I didn't see that. I wasn't aware we were getting any money.
Oh, now they're like, I got a thing that said make a living on Twitter, which means they're going to reward more for engagements, which means it's going to get even worse. Anyway, I feel like I'm the only one fighting this.
I've given up. I don't love it either, but I've stopped caring.
My thought is I am jealous of the year Detroit's having.
Yeah.
Where they, or even Kansas City lost 100 games last year.
Yeah.
I don't like that we've gotten to a point where making the playoffs is not a formality. I don't want to say it's a formality. It was with the Packers for a while. And it is with the Bucks.
I think it's an expectation.
But even this year, they're like, no, we're not going to. And then they did. And then it's like, oh, well, but also this is the same, like this is the Brewers path. The Packers path is Super Bowl contender playoff. The Brewers is, oh, let's, quell our expectations. We all say 78 when we all really think 89 because that's what they've been doing. So I just want a year where making, this just goes back to me wanting the regular season to be fun again.
It was a blast this year. It was an absolute blast. Start to finish.
And that's my own where I wasn't as involved because I don't want to say blame, but there's nights I'm watching things from a national perspective and not
and that's fine.
I don't little Brewers Reds game on a random Tuesday.
I don't hold it against you. Last regular season, I think, was a little bit of a slog. This year, because it was different. It was Murphy. There was lots of things that were different about this season that were not true of the last couple. Now, next year, if we run this back and lose the wild card round, all right, maybe I'll meet you there. But I think again, my take would just simply be win in the playoffs. God damn it! Like that's the solution, not missing the playoffs.
Right. So
we appreciate a playoff loss again.
Right. So I'm at the point. I'm already resigned that they'll never win a World Series, but I'm at the point where now I'm resigning myself that they're not going to win a playoff series again. So if this is what we're going to do, like if this is the norm, then I would like it to come on a year where making the playoffs feels special. I also really can't stress enough how I do want them to be bad in the formative years of my son's life where I can take him to games cheaper.
But Brewer games, unlike Bucks games,
They're
are not
cheap.
cost prohibitive.
No, but even when we had the seats that we got on TV, we were all the way down the first base line at like a weird angle, and those were still $80
Each?
It was a weekend game.
Okay.
Well, with fees, Paul.
Who are they playing? I mean, like, was it like a marquee Sunday or something?
It was September.
I'm trying to remember who it was. Why can't I remember it? It's bothering me.
People were into it. Jared Koenig got the save.
Oh, who was it?
Yeah. It was against a certain
The
team.
A's? Was it the A's? No.
No, I can tell you. I got it bookmarked.
Bart, you really don't remember who it was against?
No.
Oh, it's gonna. It's close. No, I lost it.
Oh, I got it.
Well, you got it
because still playing. They're still playing.
Oh, it wasn't the Met. It wasn't that final Mets series, was it?
No, but they're still in the playoffs.
Cleveland.
Yeah, the
That's
Cleveland.
it. That was
They're still in the
great. I
playoffs
was
for
there the night
now.
before. Oh, what a good series.
They're still in the playoffs as of this recording.
Was it August or was it September?
August. Mid-August.
Okay, you said September, I think, Bart. So I was like,
I did at first.
makes
Some
more
memories
sense.
you made with your son, huh?
Also, the Mets, like they are going to win. They're going to the World Series.
Yeah, because they did the thing. Guys, I said this on Bill's show earlier today. The Brewers have it figured out. You need to build a team that's just good enough to get in and to get hot. You win that first round, and then
you have to play in the first round.
Yeah, and they've played in the first round every year. They have the. They just don't win the games. That's the only thing they're doing wrong, is they're losing the baseball games. Everything else, they're doing an outstanding job.
So Devin Williams obviously had a rough go of things. And you kind of think like, boy, I'd really like to get into a closer's head. Maybe like an all-time closer. Tonight on the Bart Winkler Show, we will be talking with Trevor Hoffman.
Oh, wow.
11:20 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Wow. Sweet.
Now, there was a pitcher who led his arsenal with a changeup and was effective in big spots, unlike Devin Williams.
Should I ask him, was breaking the record in Milwaukee a little underwhelming?
Do you agree with Jesse Winker? Do you hate Milwaukee?
Yeah, Jesse Winker's become this legend because he sucked. I mean, he just like sucked and now. So anyway, that's why. I just want to take my kid to cheap games. I also want to enjoy getting to the playoffs more. This is an incredibly selfish take that I'm only thinking of myself.
Okay. I don't want much more there's to say, but I just had to at least bring up what I heard. Make sure Grant could hear this silliness. I do think so. What I'll reference is the 2023 Packers season. We talked about it, the three of us. Was going to be a fun season. You were going to get to discover if your quarterback was the guy for the future or not. You had no expectations. If it went poorly, you'd say, yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we thought, and we're going to get a good draft pick. Or it starts going well, and you're going to say, like, whoa, like this is so. Like the idea of what you're saying, you might have had a take and you just turned it up to 11 for the sake of the show and the whatever.
Sure.
But the idea is we are okay. You didn't.
No,
I'm trying to let you.
Yeah,
I'm trying to let you. But the idea is that like last year's Packers season was the fun thing. What the Tigers fans are getting to do right now is the fun thing. The Royals fans, that's the fun thing. Having minimal to no expectations and then doing something with it. It's like if there actually was such thing as a Marlins fan, what they've been through in their franchise's existence. Win the World Series, dump everybody for salary reasons.
That one, Paul, I think the better example is actually Tampa, the Buccaneers.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Marlins were like they bought, and it's clear what they did.
Yeah, but it worked.
Yeah, but I think there's, I think there's more Buccaneers fans than there are Marlins fans.
Yes.
I don't know. I've shifted to using Tampa in that argument.
It's a good it's a good.
These two things aren't mutually exclusive. You can be competitive and have expectations and win games.
But look what the Mets did. The Mets spent $500 million on a payroll, sucked. Now their payroll's like what, $499? But somehow they got it to where they're the plucky underdogs. And it's working.
I don't give a darn what label is assigned to my team. I just want them to win a playoff series. I don't care the framing. I don't care about any of the rest of it. I just want them to get out of the first round.
I know this is like I think I saw.
I would have loved if the season ended last night instead of a week ago.
100%.
Even though I did hear a portion of your show, Bart, where you played a clip from Phillies fans, which was an amazing clip of Phillies fans. We still might have had that. Like, it's not like we would be like, oh shucks, I guess we're not going to the NLCS.
One guy goes, I'm already in the 5th stage of grief, acceptance that this team will never win. Classic line.
The most impressive thing is that guy was very likely, like 6 or 7 deep, and still was quite timely with his comedy. Yeah. Grant, any other thoughts on the Brewers before we pivot?
I thought that I really liked Matt Arnold, and he is super gracious with the media. The 2 times I was there this summer, he was down in the dugout and just enjoyed talking baseball off the record with reporters and just shooting the breeze. He mentioned that in his presser today. I thought the Brewers beat who I love. I think they all are very good, and I love their work. I thought Brewers fans were underserved in that presser today.
Well, then you should have been there, Grant.
And I was waiting for Wagner to tweet that back at me. I'm like, I have a fucking... I'm sorry, I'm trying not to swear. This is like my only outlet where I actually get to be like upset, so I'm sorry. But I couldn't be there. But I actually couldn't. I am in this padded room by myself for 9 hours a day. But I couldn't have been. But if I would have been there, I would have said, Matt, it's great that you guys have made the playoffs as much as you have. It was an awesome year with Murph. There's certainly a lot to celebrate with this franchise, but there's a large portion of Brewer fans that believe that this isn't good enough. And they're really frustrated, and they're left wondering after last Thursday night, if not then, when is this ever going to happen? So what would you say to those Brewers fans? And that question wasn't asked. It wasn't even skirted. It was like, what was your favorite Murphy moment? What are you most proud of?
Well, so Grant,
and some of that is okay, but that can't be the whole press conference.
Right. Well, so Grant, I mean nothing by this question. Are you a question asker at press? Have you?
Yeah. If you're gonna go, you should have to participate. I think
you should have to. Not everyone agrees with that.
I didn't do shit at media day.
Well, I don't know. If I'm going somewhere, if I'm taking the time to get a credential and go, part of the reason you should go as a radio person, as a beat reporter, it's different. But as a radio person, if you're gonna go, I think part of the motivation behind that is I talk smack behind a microphone. I should also have to go, not talk smack to these people's faces, but I should have to interact with them as humans.
Right.
So that's why.
Let's say you go to Bucks
I'm
Media
glad
Day.
that you do ask questions, though. That's good.
Let's say you go to Bucks Media Day and you sit in the crowd, a few rows back. You're really just a blur. And then a week later, you run into one of the people from the Bucks, maybe Giannis, at a joint function with your children.
This is hypothetical?
Yeah. Do you say hi? Do you do anything? Does he think you're just a fan? And let's say also that you're wearing your Golden State Warriors hat at the time.
Is there no part of you? You've talked about this scenario on your show before, right? That there's a play like this is something you've discussed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So like you see him at swimming. Is there not part of you deep down that's like, wouldn't it be cool if the kids ended up being friends and do like play dates and stuff? Like there's no part of you that your mind goes there. It's like, that'd be kind of sick. I would.
Would it be cool if my kid was?
Have you kicked around the possibility that like you could pull that off? That's what I'm asking.
I mean, I've thought of every scenario.
Okay.
None of them end good for me.
I'll answer your question, Bart, to say early in my journalistic career, I 100%, I was younger, bolder, dumber. I definitely would have been like, hey, Giannis, Paul, Fox Sports, Wisconsin, what's up, man? Good to see you again. I would have played. I'm sure I would have. I'm sure 25-year-old me would have done that. Now I would just be like, I've done most likely nothing.
I mean, I walked right by Adam McCalvey at a concert at the Fest Grounds 2 weeks ago, and I got scared. I didn't say anything, and I had seen him like a week and a half before. So I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't if I were you, Bart. But if you do, I don't think it's bad.
Part of me, Grant, thinks though that in 2 years you'll do that differently. What I'll reference is Radio Row, Grant.
No, I wish I would have said something. That was a miss by me.
Well, not just because of McCalvey, who understandably you're starstruck by, but like
a little. I mean,
he's
have you seen Adam McCalvey? It's
fucking awesome, dude.
Like, are you performing? He walked by. I'm like, is this? No, that's right. I'm not here to see McCalvey.
But like you came out, you lived it up at Radio Row. Like you came out of that shell, right?
Well, I had to, because
but
if
you
did,
did.
It's a different environment. It's an environment where it's a different environment.
I know. I'm very much a situation specific guy where it's like I could do it here, but I couldn't do it there. Like totally, I'm with you. All right, ready for pivot?
Now, if I was like Eric name, I'd be like, "What's up?" But I'm like, I showed up to a media day, and the last time I actually talked to him was 7 years ago.
What if you were Jimmo?
Wait, is that how long you've been that you haven't been with Name-It-All?
No, the last time that I directly asked Giannis a question.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got you.
Was at a media day, and I mean Thon Maker was on the team.
That's a while ago.
Yeah. All right, Paul, you've wanted to move on. Although this is interesting conversation. I'm enjoying this.
Oh, we can. I'm always just kind of waiting for like, does Bart have more? Does Grant have more? Okay.
Well, I do have more. I have more savings for you at happyplacehemp.com. The promo code is Bart. 25% off. 25. I got to get Grant in there. You like that one?
Well, it's just funny. You just sent it.
I just went right in. Send it in. Send it to Goodell. We got the Happy Place Hemp part of the show. Send it. Get it on the podium. 25% off each and every order. I think this weekend we're going to up the dosage. We'll see. I got to figure that out. But I am going to continue to do what I've been doing on the way home. Maybe 10 minutes out. Put in the CBDC in. And then I get home. Look at my phone for a few. Fall asleep. The nights where I take the gummy and where I don't take the gummy it's night and day in the most literal sense. Either I have a good night or I'm up until day because I have a history of sleeping problems. I don't know why. Then you get, you get some weird dreams maybe sometimes, but that's part of the fun. Happy Place Hemp, promo code Bart, 25% off every order. Go to the website, browse around. You can get sample packs if you just want to mess with some stuff and try some stuff. That's the fun of it. The seltzer's very popular. We had a guy from Hawaii that listens to the show, ask for a whole box. So that was nice. So if you're that guy, send me a DM, or as boomers still say, a PM. Happyplacehemp.com, promo code Bart. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say send me a PM?
Personal message. I've always an SMS.
Private message? Or
I'll look at because when Facebook started, it was called personal messages. And then Twitter came into direct messages. And so I'll still see people on Facebook. One guy I used to work with in radio is always like, PM me, I'll let you know. And it bugs me so hard.
I remember PM in my formative years when I first was on Facebook. People were saying PM. I thought DMs became more of a thing via Instagram, and I can't believe that. I hate when people say via the. It's just that is a pet peeve of my own. I cut that from the pod, Tim. Thank you.
Now we all love PM Dawn, the popular '90s hip hop artist.
I don't think I know who that is.
Well, I'd play the song, but
can you give me a hint?
I'll just send it to you on the #1 preferred podcast listening site, non-Odyssey division, Spotify.
Well, I don't think I'll be able to open it.
Paul's an Apple Music guy.
I know.
Tracks,
Yeah,
which I knew, but
no Wrapped at the end of the year for you, dude.
No.
Which
I would like to
feel
have.
so left out.
I can't wait to share my Wrapped with you, Bart.
I cannot wait to share my Wrapped.
All right.
It's going to be a lot of Paw Patrol soundtrack and a lot of Halloween songs because that trend's continuing. People, blow-ups, people that decorate their homes.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 2 full-fledged skeletons sitting on chairs in the front yard waving to adorners passing by.
Nice.
Yeah, we win for it, dude.
Yeah, we're a decorating. We do it up too.
Yeah,
We have mums on our railing.
fucking awesome, dude.
I think they look nice.
I'm sure they do.
You being a prick right now, or do you actually like? I think
not.
mums are great.
Anything.
I don't know. Sure.
The world is a canvas, and we each get our own slice of it, and it'd be foolish not to express it in the way that you want. And join the fun.
Ryan Wood is battling with Packers fans.
I'm glad you're bringing this up, by the way. This is good. Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome. I'm excited to talk about it. Ryan Wood is battling with Packers fans on social media. Ryan Wood says it's not his opinion and he's not hot taking, and he's just telling like it is, which is that Jordan Love has been bad this season. So Ryan Wood, Jordan Love has been bad this season. I know I'm speaking for you, Ryan. Yeah, I mean, he would say, Bart and Grant, Jordan Love in his 3 starts this season has been I'll call it a below average. You can say bad if you want, Ryan. Starting NFL quarterback. Or Grant.
Not bad, but I'm with Ryan Wood that he hasn't been good enough. I think if Ryan were here and gave his piece on this, he would say, no, he hasn't been bad. He just hasn't played to the level the Packers need him to play to for this contract and to go on a run. Which
I feel like if I go look at his tweets, he might have said bad.
Okay.
I'll confirm that.
I have seen people on Packers Twitter is like, well, that one guy's becoming the anti-Jordan Love guy, and I never read it that way. I think Ryan Wood's just
didn't read that way either. I
Yeah.
agree. It's been interesting to watch, and again,
That's how people are reading it.
Well, it's how they're reading it, but also, granted, it goes back to if you are going to tweet these things, well, at least then go interview the person, right? So Ryan, he's posts these things publicly, and then he's got to go ask Jordan questions. So he's clearly standing behind it. It's not like he's like, okay, well, I can just say this and then hide in the corner and cover the team without talking to the quarterback. So anyway, sorry, you keep going.
Do you think Jordan Love would say that he's played his best football this year so far if you'd ask him? No,
obviously
but
not.
He's only played 3 games. One was in South America on a really slippery field. One was coming back from a knee injury. And then the one after that, was probably his best, save for a bad decision to throw out of the end zone, which I don't know.
No, that's an extraordinarily Will Levis style bad decision.
Yeah.
If Will Levis did that,
we would avoid a safety.
But
Will Levis did that in field goal range. Like Jordan Love is trying to avoid a safety. It's a bad decision, but people are like, they're like a historically bad. I don't know if I go that far.
It's about okay. Yeah.
Look, we don't need to.
By the way, my answer is actually going to be pro Love, but that particular decision was.
Here's what I'll say. If this is how Jordan Love plays the rest of the year, it won't be good enough for the Packers to go on a run. And if he keeps playing like this, he won't live up to the contract he just got. And I think that's the point that Ryan Wood is making. And I think that's a very fair point. That's not to say that, I don't think Jordan Love is going to play like this all year. I think he's more of a rhythm thrower, suffered an injury, weird game. But I don't think Ryan is lying or making things up about how Jordan Love has played so far this year.
Yeah. Bart.
Regarding the interception.
Go ahead. You go.
All right. Regarding the interception, he was smart to think, I don't want to give up a safety. In the way that you're smart to say, oh, there's a deer in the road. I don't want to run straight into this deer. So he swerved out of the road.
Okay.
But what he didn't consider was, well, now he's swerving into oncoming traffic. So he made an immediate decision to prevent something bad from happening, focused on that, not thinking, oh, there's a chance I don't miraculously get this out of bounds and it's picked off for a 2-yard return.
Right.
It was still about as bad as if you're ever like, what, Grant?
Well, I was just gonna say, from a watchability standpoint, me watching at home, I'm like, all right, just give us the ball back. Who gives a shit? Like, I almost prefer that to give them 2 points, now punt them the ball. I'm like, just take 6, give us the ball before half. I was, from a watchability standpoint, I was fucking fine with it.
But I didn't watch it and be like, oh no, we've made a huge mistake.
No. Right. Exactly.
It was like, well, that was a very bad moment.
Right.
In what we hope is a nice career. A lot of things at play here. A lot of things at play.
Can I read a couple of the Ryan tweets real quick, or at least response?
You may, yes. No.
The ball, this is in reference to Dontavian Wicks, but you'll see why it's about Love. The ball being dropped does not mean Jordan Love's pass was accurate. Here, ready? Hashtag. 2 things can be true.
I knew it.
The ball, he did. The ball should have been caught, as I said, but Love had a TD if he hit Wicks in stride down the sideline, and he did not. Then he went on to say in a different response to which someone says, you do hate on Jordan Love every week, by the way. And Ryan responds, he has not been good this season. His passer rating is 89.55. His completion percentage is 56.1. There's a standard of play the Packers need him to reach. Stating that fact is not hate. Calling poor play good is delusional. Nothing about this is personal. This is just a moronic reaction, he was saying to the tweeter. Anyway, Bart, you go, but I just wanted to give that context.
Classic, classic beat writer, by the way, behavior on Twitter. Like, let me respond to this with as many words as possible.
I got so much circling around here. I hope it comes out in a way that makes sense.
I'm going to turn my mic off.
Cook.
Aaron Rodgers played at a level where the Packers needed him to be the MVP. They built a roster where they needed him to be the MVP. The Bills have done the same thing now with Josh Allen.
Mm-hmm.
They have a good roster if Josh Allen plays like an MVP. Then they can get to the NFC, AFC championship game where they will lose. That was the way that this roster was built. This Packers roster and the attention they're giving the defense with a new coordinator, and they thought they were giving the special teams with a false god at that position. I don't know. It seems like Jordan Love doesn't need to play at an MVP level for them to have success. But we're so used to our quarterbacks needing to do that. Oh, but then he got paid as an MVP player with the $55 million. All right, who else is making $55 million? Joe Burrow? Well, he's 1-4. Trevor Lawrence? Same thing. So the $55 million isn't like, it doesn't, anywhere from 40 to 55, you're making a decision. Do we want our quarterback or do we want to try to find a new one? Is this guy good enough to continue? And he was good enough to continue.
Good take.
Now, if he's played like this, if this is the sample size we get, these 3 games, and then you're like, okay, you want to pay him $55 million? You're probably like, well, is this the best that he's going to be? And then to what Grant was saying, crazy way to start the season, coming back from injury in which he underthrew everything. And not even underthrew, but like the accuracy was so bad, he's throwing at guys' feet all the time. That was better in the game against the Rams.
It got better in the second half against the Vikings too, to be fair.
Especially in the second half of both of these games. Like, Niners have a quarterback in Brock Purdy that's amazing in the first half, and then he's throwing picks all over the place in the second half. You want that, or you want a guy to improve? So if you're looking at Jordan Love 2024 and saying, this is all you know of him, would you pay him $55 million? I think a lot of us would be like, I'm not ready to do that. And also last year, it was kind of the same thing where it built and built and built. Jordan Love is a good quarterback. He has done some uncharacteristic things that we thought were uncharacteristic that have maybe lowered us to think he's not playing as good as we think or know him to be. I'm not as worried about, as bad as it was, that interception, because again, you're trying to avoid one thing and then you forgot about the other thing. That comes in time, perhaps. What I'm worried about is he doesn't throw into double coverage. He throws into single coverage or triple coverage, never double coverage, single or triple. That Jaden Reed catch was amazing and will be on every Jaden Reed highlight for the end of time.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at that pass and being like, I think there's more problems there than with anything he threw to Wicks.
Well, did you hear the follow-up on that? That I think Love was asked about whatever day that was, Wednesday maybe, that he said he talked with Tom Clements about it, and then Love was asked, after talking with Clements about it, will you be making that throw again? And Love said, never. So even though it was successful, you know.
I am not worried that Jordan Love is not going to live up to the contract.
That's an interesting way to think about it. Yeah.
Unless you but some people might. But it just depends on what do you expect out of the contract. So if you expect $55 million to be Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, I expect it to be more than, what I said it was, where you just pay a guy. Like, I expect Jordan Love to continue the long line of success that Packer quarterbacks have had. Maybe not at a Hall of Fame level, but certainly where the quarterback is not a constant worry week in and week out. Jordan Love, there's all this discussion on, and at no point was there like, well, they should go back to Malik Willis. People are at least smart enough to know, like, he is the starting quarterback at a far superior level. So, yeah, he's had a wacky start to the season.
Zane?
That concerns me none.
Long-term concerns you none? Short-term concerns you none also?
Well, I think they're going to beat the Cardinals.
Okay.
Who do they got after that?
Texans.
Oh, jeez.
It's hard to win in this league, man. There's not.
Bart, I would add to this and to what you were saying. I think what Jordan Love needs to always be each year of this contract is on the Bartometer for best quarterbacks.
Better than he was before, too, a little bit?
Not necessarily. I think if he is in the top 8 to top 10, always. Like, it's not like, well, he's kind of like 14 right now. Oh, now he's 7. Like, I think he needs to always consistently be, during the length of a contract that he's being paid, like, I think he needs to always be unquestioned a top 10, top 8, call it what.
He's just not as good right now in this disjointed start than he was at the end of last year.
Right.
And there's plenty of reasons for that. So that's what people are wanting. But you don't hear anyone saying, go to Malik Willis. You don't even hear anyone saying, oh, I wish we still had Rodgers. You don't hear any of that.
Thankfully.
Did you hear my Rodgers thing last night at all?
I heard the first couple hours, so yes.
So my thing, Grant, was Rodgers, here's point A, here's point B.
Mm-hmm.
If you ask Rodgers, did you get Saleh fired? The shortest line between that is, hey, Woody, please fire Saleh. So he will say, no, I didn't get Saleh fired. But he actually did. He went, all right, this one. And eventually got to the point. His actions and behavior over the course of a year and a half led to Saleh's firing. So if you ask Rodgers point blank, did you get Saleh fired? He will say no, and he will believe it with the language that he believes. Sure. But yes, Rodgers eventually led to Saleh's firing. But if you say got you fired, it's different than led to.
Well,
and you know how particular he is.
Well, and it turns into a different discussion. It's like, was it Rodgers' responsibility to save Robert Saleh's job? And that's a LeBron thing.
I think Woody called him and said danced around like, well, I might be forced to make a change. I almost guarantee there was some version of that said.
And you didn't think Robert Saleh was a good coach. You've bitched about him for years. At that moment during that phone call, do you want Aaron Rodgers to go, no,
we're good friends.
Like, that's not his job, Also, back to a Jordan Love point where it's like he doesn't need to be Patrick Mahomes. There is a middle ground between how he's played and MVP. Like, those aren't the only two options. Like, there is a middle ground of quality quarterback play that he is failing to reach right now.
Yeah.
Just to address, just to circle back to piggyback. Diving board off of something you said.
I'm guessing I've said enough in this to make you think that I'm actually like teetering. I'm not. Love has not, through the 3 games he's played, been good enough. their record being 1-2 with him, like, I think if he had played better, like, you at least win. I mean, these games don't come down to mini plays, right? But like, presumably they are better if he plays better. Like, they have a better record than 1-2 with him if he had played better. So no, I have no long-term concern. Like, if we revisit this question every 5 games for the rest of the Jordan Love contract, and we say Jordan Love will live up to this contract, or like, I think my answer every time will be like, yeah, I mean, I think so, because I think he'll always be a top 8 to 10 quarterback. I'm not so high on him to the point where it's like, well, yeah, this is a top 3 quarterback in the next 3 years. Like, I don't think it is. It's probably not. But if he can stay in that top 8 to 10, I think it'll be all right. All right, I got a Bucks one to conclude. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
There was a ranking that I saw of the NBA's. We'll do a Bucks one. I saw Bucks and Pistons on TV. I only watched 2 minutes of it, but I just saw it on the DVR and I was like, oh, hell yeah. Like, I just loved seeing like Bucks Pistons, and it was the fucking Pistons, but still I just loved seeing it. The visual was really stimulating.
One of my son's dads plays for them. My son's friend's dads, I meant. That's a lot different of a phrase.
Yeah, it is.
Shay!
Post. Cut it. There was a list of the NBA's best number 3 players. So the third best player in every team was chosen. Here's the third best player, and then ranked. Where do you think Khris Middleton, if we can agree, maybe you'd say Brook Lopez is the third best player. But if you were to take this I'm just saying, I don't know what you say. I don't think so either. Middleton is the Bucks' third best player. Where do you think, without seeing the list, where do you think Middleton is ranked among?
Where do you think you got? Who did the ranking?
I have the list here. I thought it was NBA.com. So I have a screenshot, but I don't have where, like, it's not large enough to expand where I can see the.
Depending on the writer, I'm not going to go any higher than 13, and I'm going to say probably 21.
So it was Yahoo Sports. Okay, I can see enough.
Fisher?
So it actually was. Yes, thank you. Appreciate you.
17?
Grant, where would you guess?
I'd
Jake?
probably say like 15 to 20, but based on the way you're setting this up, it's probably like 25.
Encouraged then that 11. So tell me if you have any issues with any of
Jesus. Guys smoke. Middleton ain't that. Middleton sucks.
So let me tell you the guys he's in front of. You want to know the guys that are in front of him or that he's in front of?
I want the whole list.
The guys
1 through 30.
Middleton is a better player, and I'll go in order from 1. Just go through this. A quick one. Middleton is better than Paul George, the Sixers' third best player.
Well, Paul George is 1.
Paul George is the number 1 ranked third best player on this Jake Fisher Yahoo Sports list.
Who else do the Clippers have?
No, he's a 76er, Bart.
Oh my God, what month is it?
Maxey and Embiid is the answer to you.
God, I got all this shit to refresh. Did you guys know Russell Westbrook is on the Nuggets?
I did. Yeah. All right, Paul George is number 1.
You know LeBron plays with his son?
That one I know you know because that's your national story. Rudy Gobert is number 2. This was pre-Towns trade, so maybe Gobert is their second best player now. I don't know. Kristaps, number 3. Chet Holmgren is 4th. Desmond Bane.
Holmgren should be 1 on this list.
I love Chet Holmgren. Evan Mobley, Cavs, 6. DeMar DeRozan. Bart, who does DeMar DeRozan play for?
The Kings.
I know you know, Grant.
Frozen. DeRozan.
Who is the player you mentioned before DeRozan? I already forgot.
Evan
Mobley.
There's no way in shit he should be that high. There's not a chance. Respect.
So
Mobley's good.
He's also ahead of Mikal Bridges, who they have as the Knicks' third best player and 8th on this list. I think
Mikal Bridges should be higher.
These are apples and bowling balls. Like, all of these players play wildly different positions and do wildly different things. Well,
you would say, like, I mean, of course, it depends who your 2 best players are.
Keep going.
Third best player. 9th is Draymond. I mean, that seems really high.
Okay.
Right? Draymond.
You see, he's launching a football show with insider Jordan Schultz.
Oh no.
With your guy?
I'll send you the link.
Oh, Bart, that's terrible news. Miles Turner is 10th. And then Middleton.
Miles Turner's good like every other month.
He is. Yeah.
He has a good stretch and then he goes away.
Middleton is 11. All right, then I'll just go quickly. DeJounte Murray, Pelicans, 12. Fred VanVleet, Rockets, 13. Bradley Beal, Suns, 14. Kobe White, Bulls, 15. Jalen Johnson, Hawks, 16. Brandon Miller, Hornets. Michael Porter Jr., Nuggets. Klay Thompson, Mavericks, 19th. Jalen Suggs, Tyler Hero is 21st. Austin Reeves, 22nd. Zubats from the Clippers.
All right. This list is just so hard to like put any of these guys together in any form.
So
this is the only version of a list where they're all like together.
I think my job is really dumb. Like I'll come home at the end of the day and she'll be like, "How's your day?" I'm like, "Good. The Jets fired their coach. That gave us a lot of, like what does that even mean?
Right.
If I had to come home and like, "How's your day?" I'm like, I ranked the best third options in the NBA. Like,
no,
I'm leaving you. That's so dumb. And Jake Fisher's good. Like he's a good writer. I like him, but whatever.
All right. I like these kind of lists. I mean, not to get angry over, but just of like, how do other people value the talents of these people? And I certainly would not have Draymond 9.
I mean, would you trade Khris Middleton for X player above him? That's always how I approach stuff like this.
Do you guys believe Bradley Beal?
I do not believe Bradley Beal.
No. Paul Henning had the juice on that. He said that Bradley Beal was lying. It was actually his wife that put the kibosh on that. It wasn't Bradley Beal who was like, "That doesn't seem right." It was his wife saying, "There's no way in hell I want to go live in Milwaukee."
I'm glad he didn't. I mean, let's be clear. Like, not that Middleton is the personification of like health, but Beal, neither guy. They both. I've not looked at like their games played, but I would say like the worst thing that could have happened to get me hyped for Bucks season. I just told you I'm excited for it. I saw a graphic on the screen. It was enough to get me going. But when it was like you get that tweet, I don't remember who it was. It wasn't Woj. And it was, you just get the notification, Middleton to likely miss start of camp. This is from a few weeks ago, obviously. And I was like, oh, for fuck. Like, like I have just this predetermination that you're going to get a Middleton injury note. And it's like, it doesn't matter. It's October, right? Like Bart.
This wouldn't matter if it was January, let alone October.
I think when I sent that to you guys, Bart's response is sit him until March. And, like, sure. Like, right. Like, just have him healthy for April, May, June. But that's all I got.
Speaking of the NBA, I think LeBron is right, by the way. Why are they flying to Milwaukee for a
That's the Lakers' fault.
Sure. Oh, okay. I'm not. It's how it was scheduled, but it is stupid. Like, I'm not saying that it's stupid for any person, but it is dumb.
And they usually don't.
That's a long flight.
It usually is just like, I think a couple years ago, it was Grizzlies and Bulls. Like,
yeah, Bucks always play the Bulls. Who's even the Bucks playing? They played the Pistons.
I
know the Lakers preseason scheduled to a T now. Yeah, they play the Bulls again.
Yeah.
They play the Mavs.
Oh, they do play the Mavs.
Did you guys see what JJ Redick said to that that reporter when asked about Rui Hachimura?
Yes.
It made me want to end myself. Bart, did you see that?
No.
Where the reporter was like, JJ, I don't remember which reporter it was, but it was like basically JJ, like how can Rui take the next steps under your coaching? You know what I mean? Like classic Paul, you've been on a beat. That's a classic question. A guy who's been here a couple of years, had some nice moments. How can you maybe help take this guy to the next level? And JJ was like, what do you mean next level? And the reporter's like, I don't know. I don't even really care. I'm just doing my job. And JJ's like, well, you tell me. You're the one creating this narrative. I'm like, I want to.
He's going to be like that all year.
I know. And it's going to suck.
He's going to be insufferable for sure.
The report, and to be clear, there's not a chance the reporter cared. I don't remember who it was, but the reporter's like, I don't know, man. Can you just say something about him, please? This has got to be in by 3. I'm going to look. I want to know who it was now. I'm going to look it up. Not that it matters, but.
Unreal.
Grant, I think you shine in the mold of like, I'm just here to do my job. And like, I'm not even particularly proud of it, but like, can we just move on?
Does this have to be a thing that gets aggregated by NBA Central?
Yeah. Also, speaking of aggregation, McAfee, do you want to host a talk show or not? Do you want to host the biggest sports talk show in the world and make all the money with all the big guests? Because if so, it's going to get aggregated. And every time you have a guest, it's so annoying. And you're like, well, that's going to get clipped. And then the guest is like, well, I don't care.
Won't they do that?
What'd you say? Sorry.
Don't they ever like just take a snippet of something and then talk about it?
Of course,
sure
it's called a breakout clip, for Christ's sake. Every show tweet. Well, I can't see them because I
have had my tweet years ago featured on the Pat McAfee show. I know they clip things.
Did you really?
When Kevin Durant's security guard tackled PJ Tucker during the playoffs. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was my tweet that McAfee picked up.
Oh, did you have the video?
Are
we getting PJ Tucker back? What's that about?
I saw the report that we are leading the sweepstakes.
What sweepstakes?
That was how it was phrased. I thought it was pretty silly. But you know what? Like, it worked last time. Is this like?
I mean, I don't care. I just don't. Who are they going to get rid of?
It'd have to be Pat. Which I don't care.
All right. Well, guys, always a pleasure.
Pat,
anything you want to promote now that we're 50 minutes in?
Pat for PJ Tucker. Who gives a fuck? Or
Paul, you got any appearances you want to promote?
None. Thank you, though.
Grant?
I'll be off tomorrow, so the show you will hear will be a best of.
You're going to miss a Friday show?
No.
Grant just promoted his off day.
Don't I look kind of baked right now?
You kind of usually always look baked.
You said earlier that the Happy Place hemp gives you weird dreams. I find it to be the opposite. I don't dream at all when I go to bed under the influence. When I go to bed sober, it gets wild in my mind.
Do you have anything to promote? I'm off tomorrow.
Well, my point is I'm off tomorrow, and you wouldn't believe how many people. I play stingers going in and out of segments where it's like, you're listening to the best of, and I'll get tweets like of people engaging with the content. I'm like, I guess this content is serving the role it needs to serve for you tonight, which I guess is a good thing. But like, you can't watermark an audio project that it's pre-recorded.
Yeah,
Grant,
go ahead. You go. Well, I've gotten into this bad habit too, where I'm just like, well, it's already pre-recorded. What does it matter if it's even up to date? You know, like, so I'll run, like, I was off 2 weeks ago. I'll probably run the same best of tomorrow night.
Like, I don't think you're burned out yet, Grant. You have a lot of good energy and everything, but like,
I love my job.
I know you do, but like a lot of your comments, it's so cynical. I love that.
I did a segment in Fondy where me and a couple other people tasted these different sodas from Rocket Fizz, this company that makes like bacon soda and ranch soda.
Ugh.
And it was classic morning radio. And that thing probably ended up running 15 to 20 different mornings as part of best ofs.
Well, I can only run this. I can only run my page.
But it was evergreen. You need evergreen.
I know, but I need more evergreen things. The problem is, and this is what I think is unfair. If I'm taking a vacation day, I shouldn't have to spend 2 hours out of a previous work day. Like, that's my off day.
Well,
it's not, hey, you won't be at work Friday, so do all of your work ahead of time. Some work, yes. Paul, don't give me that look. A reasonable amount of work. Which should be minimal. Do you disagree?
All I would say is, if you ever leave the sports industry, that part of what you're explaining will not change.
I don't. If I'm a doctor, if I'm taking Friday off, am I just supposed to see all of my Friday patients on Thursday?
Maybe teachers, though, they got to do a lesson plan for the sub.
Sure.
And that's also, why you will still see all of your patients, Dr. Bills, just in you'll just have a longer Thursday and a longer Monday to make up for the fact. I'm not saying this is a good thing.
I really need to get going, but we got to start a radio movement where Fridays is a weekend. I mean, 5 days a week is fucking killing me. It really is. 5 shows a week, high octane. It's hard.
Bart, you did
all the wall, man.
You did the thing the other night where you did it intentionally for comedy value, but you said, "All right, everyone, have a great night." But I have 1 more hour to go. Everybody, I'll be back after this.
Well, I felt like my final hour. I was pissed.
I think you were joking.
All right, guys, always a pleasure.
Do you have Bartometer? And are you once again ignoring my great suggestion?
Yeah, Bartometer is most hated NFL players.
Ooh, I mean, Deshaun's won in a landslide.
God, I really got
I kind of like the Browns to beat the Eagles this weekend and get Nick Sirianni fired in one fell swoop. That's my hope for this weekend.
Will you ask?
Christian McCaffrey's 8. Dak, Kelsey, Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Russell Wilson, kickers, all. Rodgers, Deshaun Watson.
Those are most hated.
Yeah.
Who is 4 or 3?
Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I mean, even that, he could if
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
The 2 popular Chiefs. Now I could say Harrison Butker, but it's an election year.
Let's leave politics out of it, Bart. Thank you.
But he is in the list with kickers. And I'll say, you guys like Harrison Butker. I don't know. I'll do that.
By the way, Joel Klatt yesterday on with Cowherd said, Cowherd, you flip-flop more than Kamala. And I'm like, oh, there's a...
Oh, Klatt responds to fake Elon accounts that he thinks are giving away like free Teslas.
We all know Klatt's story. Yeah, I just thought it was funny.
He's a fucking brilliant broadcaster, though.
He is. God, he can broadcast. You are correct. All right. Well, you have to go, Bart.
Bye. Thank you all.
Bye.
It was a good episode. Good for us.
Thanks for stopping into the Winklerverse.
See you guys.